The blessed apostle, who was wise in divine things, has beautifully said in an admonition, "If any man seemeth to be wise in this world, let him become a fool, that he may be wise. But beseech God that he may grant you to reach this degree of faith." If you perceive the delight of faith in your soul, it's not difficult for me to say that there is nothing further which withholds it from Christ. And it is not difficult for it to be always captivated and not to perceive the earthly things, but to forget this weak world and the recollection of its things. On behalf of this, pray without dejection, and ask with tears, and beseech fervently, and supplicate with great earnestness till you have received it. Further, no fatigue will be necessary. You will be deemed worthy of this if beforehand you compel your soul to cast your care on God in faith, and so you will change your care for His care. Then, when He sees that in utter serenity of spirit you are willed to believe God in things which concern you, and that you compel your soul to confide in God more than in yourself, that power with which you are not acquainted will take hold of you, so that you will be affected in an imperceptible way by the power which works in you, no room being left for doubt. By this power which they perceived, many went into the fire without fear, and walked on water without thinking of the possibility that they could be drowned in it, because faith strengthened the senses of their souls so that it felt an inward conviction that resolution could not be weakened, nor look on terrible things except with a gaze exalted above the senses. Take care not to think at all that spiritual knowledge can be received by psychic knowledge. It is not only that spiritual knowledge cannot be received by psychic knowledge, but it is even impossible that those who zealously try to acquire training in psychic knowledge should be deemed worthy to perceive spiritual knowledge. And if any of them should desire to approach unto spiritual knowledge before having denied psychic knowledge and all of its subtle orders and intricacies, and before having reached childhood of spirit, it will not be possible for him to approach even a little way towards it, but its customs and perverted impulses become to him many hindrances before he gradually forgets them. Spiritual knowledge is simple, not illuminated by the psychic deliberations. Before the mind has been freed from manifold deliberations and has reached the unified simplicity of purity, it is not able to perceive spiritual things. This order of knowledge, consisting therein that man here already perceives the delight of the life of the world to be, rejects much deliberation. And psychic knowledge is not able, apart from the gatherings of many deliberations, to know anything which is received by serenity of spirit. And the word of our Lord is not denied. Except ye be converted and become as little children, ye shall not enter into the kingdom of heaven. Indeed, many are those who do not reach this innocence, but on account of their beautiful works, a portion is kept for them with our Lord in the kingdom of heaven, as can be recognized from the understanding of the blessings which he especially pronounced in his gospel. In these blessings, he has touched a variety of ways of behavior, from which it appears that for every man who walks to him, in whatever measure, on whatever way, the gate of the kingdom of heaven is open. But the word, "except ye be converted and become as little children," means here that man perceives the delight of the kingdom. The kingdom of heaven is said to be spiritual contemplation, and this is not found by the labors of the deliberations, but it is tasted by grace. And before a man has become pure, he is not able even to hear, because it is not acquired by learning. If you reach purity, my son, which is acquired through the faith of the heart and by reclusion from men, and you forget the knowledge of this world and do not perceive it, then spiritual contemplation suddenly is found within you, without inquiring after it. Erect a pillar and pour oil upon it, and you will find your treasure within you. If, however, you are entangled in the snares of psychic knowledge, I have no objection to say that it will be easier for you to escape from iron bonds than from it. And you will never be far from the snares of seduction, and you will never be able to find and to have freedom of speech and confidence unto our Lord. And at all times you will walk on the edge of the sword, and you will not be able absolutely to be without suffering. Take refuge with weakness and sincereness, that you may live beautifully before God, and that you may be without fear. For as the shadow follows the body, so does mercy follow humility. Therefore, if you wish to be connected with these, do not give room anyhow to weak deliberations. If all injuries and evils and dangers surround you and make you fear, do not care to look at them or to even think of them. If once you believe that God is able to guard and to govern you, and if you follow him, then do not further care for anything like these, but say to yourself, all sufficient is he to whom thou hast once entrusted thyself. I am not near to anything, but he knows it. Then you will see indeed the wonders of God, namely how near his salvation always is to those who fear him, and that his care surrounds them, though it is invisible. And though the guardian which is with you is invisible to the bodily eyes, yet you shall not doubt his existence. Sometimes he reveals himself also to the bodily eyes, for the sake of your confirmation. But when a man has thrown away all visible help and human hope and clings to God in faith and with a clear heart, then at once grace will cling to him and reveal in him its force by various acts of help. At first, it shows its help in manifest things, also in bodily ones, by its care for him, in order that by these things he may the better be able to perceive the power which is in God's care for him, and that by insight in manifest things he may become confirmed in hidden ones, as is becoming to his childlike mind and his lack of training.